Hello everyone and happy Halloween. We are back here today in BeamNG Drive for some monster trucks. This is Boneyard Bash 2, and if you did not see Boneyard Bash 1, this is a little bit different. Far bigger track and not as many trucks, but a little more variety. Anyway, something of note of this track is I noticed while testing that every truck I put in the left lane tended to beat every truck I put in the right lane. However, if each truck did 2 laps, it tended to be a far more even result. However, in an attempt to not make this video 45 minutes long, we will instead be doing essentially the drag race portion of this track until the final round, where the final 2 trucks will do that racetrack. That should be traditional. So, with that out of the way, let's move on to the first competitors we have in our little drag race with round 1. Starting off our race, we have Avenger and Gravedigger the Legend. Off they go off the starting line. As you can see here, both trucks are pretty fast. Up the ramp they go, and it's a close race. We're going to have to go look at a slow motion replay of that. As you can see here, Avenger has a slight lead over Gravedigger the Legend. Coming up on the line, it looks like it is Avenger by about a tire length who beats Gravedigger the Legend. Up next is Mohawk Warrior and Captain's Curse. Off the line, over that quick little jump, over the second little bump in the line. Up they go. It's yet another close race. Once again, we're going to have to look at that slow-mo to see who won. Up the ramps here, it looks like Mohawk Warrior has a slight lead, or they look fairly even here. Coming up to the line, it will be Mohawk Warrior who beats Captain's Curse across the line. Up next, we have Gravedigger and Zombie Hunter. Zombie Hunter and Gravedigger Zombie. This is an interesting matchup, but Gravedigger will beat Zombie Hunter. Up next we have Hellcat and Arachnophobia. Across the line they go. Hellcat just pushing on ahead. Up over the ramp and will beat Arachnophobia by about half a truck length. Up next is Fallen Angel and Zombie. Off the line they go, up their first ramp. Headed down to the other ramps, up they go, and Zombie beats Fallen Angel by about a truck length, it looked like, but a fairly easy win for Zombie. As you can see here, once again, we will, of course, look at the replay here. We have Zombie with a fairly good lead over Fallen Angel. And as you can see here, Zombie gets to the finish line by about a truck length. So yeah, Zombie is your winner. Up next we have Black Widow against Pirate's Curse. Across the line they go, and Pirate's Curse will beat out Black Widow for the win. And Black Widow's in a bit of trouble. Front clip just flying off, but right back on all 4 wheels. Black Widow seems fine. Up next we have Brutus against Son of a Digger. Last year Son of a Digger won racing, however that was on a more conventional track, similar to this one. But in this drag race it seems like Son of a Digger barely got out a win. We will check that slow motion replay just to make sure. As you can see here, Son of a Digger does seem to be slightly ahead of Brutus. Brutus is catching up, it looks like, but won't catch up in time as Son of a Digger crosses over that line by about a tire length, it looks like. And finally, for round 1, we have Spooky Intentions against Pumpkin Smasher. Spooky Intentions seem to get on the ground first, and with raw power will beat Pumpkin Smasher by a pretty wide margin. And with round 1 over, let's look at our bracket leading into round 2. Half the field, of course, has been eliminated, and with these 8 remaining trucks, we will determine who will be the winner of our race, and the winner will, of course, move on to the finals. So let's move on to round 2. Up first, we have Mohawk Warrior against Avenger. Avenger, the heavier chassis, getting back onto the ground first and will beat Mohawk Warrior across the line. Looking back at the replay here, you can see Avenger does have a little bit of a lead over Mohawk Warrior. Mohawk Warrior is indeed catching up to Avenger, but it won't be in time as Avenger crosses the line first. Up next, we have Hellcat and Gravedigger Zombie. Both of these trucks are very powerful, but it looks like Hellcat beat out Gravedigger. Was a very close race. We will again look at that replay just to be sure. Of course, as you can see, both of these trucks were very fast indeed. Hellcat does seem to get off the ramp first. And it looks like Hellcat will beat out Gravedigger across the finish line. Up next is Pirate's Curse and Zombie. This particular Pirate's Curse is on the CRC chassis, so it seems like it was able to get on the ground faster and will beat Zombie across the line. Although Pirate's Curse is in trouble now. Looks like he lost both of his wheels on one side there, going up that ramp there by accident. Looking back at the replay, you can see Pirate's Curse goes up the ramp before Zombie. Will indeed cross the line before Zombie was, and will move on to the next round. As you can see here, upon landing, seems to be a little too close to the ramp here. Goes right up the ramp. And as you can see here, that landing will indeed break off both of the left tires. Hopefully that should be fixed by the time Pirate's Curse, should be able to come out for the next race. Up next for round 2, we have Spooky Intentions versus Son of a Digger. And Spooky Intentions, by a pretty big margin yet again, beats out Son of a Digger across the line. Here we have the bracket leading into the semifinals. Only 4 trucks remain. Only 2 will make it to the final round, and only 1 will be your winner here tonight. Who's it gonna be? Well, let's move on to the semifinals and find out who will win. Up first, it is Avenger versus Hellcat. Seems like Hellcat has a lot of power as Hellcat just beats Avenger right across the line. Looking at the replay here, you can see that Hellcat definitely has a pretty good lead over Avenger. And although Avenger has proven very fast today, it seems Hellcat proved to be much faster. Up next is Pirate's Curse against Spooky Intentions. Spooky Intentions, same power as Hellcat, beats Pirate's Curse across the line very fast. Both CRC trucks are out. And with the final round here, we have 2 trucks remaining. Over here in the right lane, we have Hellcat. Hellcat proving to be very fast here today. Although this is the lane that proved to be slower on 1 lap. Hopefully 2 laps should even it out just a little bit. But their opponent in the left lane has also proven to be equally fast. It is Spooky Intentions. Spooky Intentions proving to beat out one of the other CRC trucks here. Both CRC trucks did prove to be fairly fast today, but with only CRD chassis remaining, it's going to be a question of who will win in this race. Of course, this isn't a drag race, because we'll be using the whole track that was here today. So, with that, let's find out who's going to win the final round. Both trucks are staged and they're ready to go. Let's go green. The light of this full moon here tonight, we see as both trucks go right across the finish line. If this was a drag race, I think Spooky Intentions definitely would have won that. Of course, this is not the drag race, as we see both trucks entering this turn here. Spooky Intentions having to make a small jump. Hellcat having to make a big jump across the gap. Lands down pretty hard, getting some air. Front flip falling right off of Hellcat. Spooky Intentions popping a little bit of a wheelie there. Both trucks have now officially switched lanes, with Spooky Intentions now following Hellcat. Spooky Intentions lines up for the big ramp here. Hellcat sends it off into the other lanes. Got to get back before Spooky Intentions runs into him. Back in their original lanes now. Hellcat seems to be a little bit ahead. Both trucks seem to be fairly even on the drag strip portion. Hellcat with a bit of a hard landing. And with one lap down, we have one more lap to go. Once again, the left lane did prove to be a little faster, but we'll see who comes out on top. Hellcat with a big jump once again, popping a wheelie this time. Hellcat going a little bit wide in the turn, coming off of that drag strip, might give Spooky Intentions time to catch up. Looks like Spooky Intentions is catching up to Hellcat as Spooky Intentions is lined up for the big jump here. Hellcat had a bit of trouble on landing. Looks like Hellcat has a slight lead as he's entering his turn first. Let's see if Spooky Intentions will catch up here on the drag strip. And it looks like it will be Hellcat who takes the win here at Boneyard Bash 2. That's right, Hellcat is your winner and will move on to the finals at the end of this year. Hellcat taking a victory lap here on their freestyle that they are allowed to take after the race. And of course, after racing, we will of course have freestyle split into two parts. And at the end of part 2, you will vote for which of these 16 trucks you believe to be your freestyle winner, and will join Hellcat at the finals. So, with that, happy Halloween, and I hope to see you again in freestyle.